Hello and welcome to Financial Reporting and Analysis at UTS in the autumn semester of 2015. This video is a quick introduction to things you need to know about the structure of the subject and basically things you need to know for the first week. I'm going to try to keep it brief. Okay, people that are teaching the subject are me, Robert Trankowski. We are all in the Dr. Chow Chuck Wing building, that's building 8. I am on level 7 in room 99, Dr. Stephen Lim is on level 6, and Helen Spiropoulos is also on level 6. Those are our contact details, and they are also available on UTS Online, which I'll show you a little bit more about later. Okay, just where this subject is going. This subject has changed a little bit from previous semesters. We have compressed one of the weeks together and explicitly focused on the sustainability topic. So what you need to do and what you need to understand. Topic 1 is fundamental to this subject. It tells us about incentives, about how people work, and helps us interpret why some of the other standards, some of the other accounting rules are as crazy as they seem. So basically, what you get from topic 1 will go all the way through the subject, can be examined in the mid-semester exam. We're focusing on it in the case study and in the final exam. So topic 1 is essential. It's the foundation of the entire topic, of the entire subject. Okay, what we then do is we break up the course into 2 chunks, if you like. One where we look at reasonably high-level accounting concepts like revenues. So we focus on revenue recognition in general and construction contracts specifically, which involves a little bit more complicated accounting. Then we look at the various complicated accounting rules for a number of different assets. We're going to find a number of things in common here. The idea of impairment, the concept of recoverable amount. So the principles are going to be largely the same, but the outcomes may be quite different. In particular, when you look at exploration assets, the assets of companies that are exploring for resources, the accounting for those is going to be really weird. We're going to record an asset that most normal people would not call an asset. In order to understand why that is the case, you need to understand the incentives that managers have and the incentives that companies had to lobby when the accounting standard for that was introduced. Remember, this is accounting, not physics. Measurement is not absolute. Measurement is socially constructed. This means that every accounting standard is to some extent political. After we've looked at assets, we're going to look at liabilities, not the basic ones that you should be comfortable with. We're going to extend that. So we're going to look at provisions and contingent liabilities, and we're going to use net present value techniques in measuring and accounting for debentures and employee benefits. Up to that will be covered on the mid-semester exam. Then after that, we're going to look at a number of specific issues which are a little bit more complex: foreign currency, financial instruments, leases, and tax. At the end, we have sustainability. Now, if you have a look at the program, which I'll show you in a few moments, there is no explicit week for sustainability. That topic is delivered as a video lecture, but there is a chapter from the textbook to read, and there are questions to look at. So it is a normal topic, it's just not covered in class. Okay, so that's basically where we're going. Now, what do we expect from you? Pretty straightforward. There's going to be a mid-semester exam covering topics 1 to 6. That will be worth 20%. There will be an assignment, a case study, that's a group case study that's presented in the final week of class. That will be worth 20%. And then there will be a final exam in the exam period. Look, in principle, the final exam can ask you questions about anything throughout the entire subject. In practice, we're going to ask the things that weren't asked in the mid-semester. So you'll know better what's on the final exam once you've sat the mid-semester exam. However, theory, that topic 1 that I said is fundamental to this subject, that topic 1 goes through the entire subject. It relates to every topic. So I can ask you questions about that in the final exam, in the mid-sem, anywhere. As I said, that is fundamental. Okay, resources that you need and resources that you might wish to get. The textbook for this subject is Australian Financial Accounting, 7th edition by Craig Deegan. Now, there is a condensed version available, which is cheaper and has less pages and only has the pages that we use. Alternatively, and this is what it looks like here on the screen, alternatively you can buy a full version which is essentially the same but has additional chapters we don't use. Okay, so Australian Financial Accounting or Condensed Australian Financial Accounting is something that you need. All of the questions that we want you to do are from there. The Financial Reporting Handbook is only something that's recommended, and in fact we don't recommend too strongly that you buy it. We do not have open book exams, so taking this into the exam doesn't help you, and all of the information in the Financial Reporting Handbook is available on the website of the Australian Accounting Standards Board. So I'll give you a link to that a little later. The reason we recommend this is we want you looking at the accounting standards, but you can equally well look at them online and download them. So you don't need to go out of your way to spend money to buy this book. Okay, now let's talk about the structure of your learning. UTS has restructured learning recently, and we're flipping around homework and in-class work. And we've done that to some extent in this subject, to the extent to which it's appropriate. So basically what we expect you to be doing before you come to each week, to each class, is do the readings. And those readings are going to be reinforced by the coverage, the lecture coverage in the second and third hours of each class. So that is basically new material. And then that will be followed up in the following week with exercises that you do. So the tutorial or self-study problems for a given week will be looked at in the following week, and they're reinforced by in-class work on those problems in the first hour of the following class. So that's the basic class-related work. Do the readings, attend the lecture, do the tutorial stuff, do the tutorial problems, and then those are addressed in the first hour of the following class. We will expect you to have done those problems prior to class because we want the first hour of class to be a learning experience. So if you're having problems, that is where you raise these issues. Now there's a bunch of other resources. Obviously, staff are available for consultation hours, and those will be announced on UTS Online. In addition, there is a series of drop-in sessions. These drop-in sessions go through the entire semester, where I, Robert, will be available in a room on Tuesdays for you to come and ask me any question you like. However, during weeks 1, 2 and 3, we're going to look at specific issues. So in week 1, I'm actually going to talk about how debits and credits work and how net present values work, for those of you that are rusty on those techniques. In the following weeks, we'll be looking at reading accounting standards and answering theory questions. Okay, so those are the resources that you have from us, the people. In addition, I should point out that classes are going to be recorded. At least one class a week will be recorded, and the recording will be made available online. Similarly, you should watch out for UTS announcements. So announcements from the subject will be shown, here we are, on UTS Online. Sorry about this. On UTS Online. At the moment, there aren't any there, although after I record this video, there should be one. Every time I do an announcement, if you actually see what it looks like from my perspective, oh, you can't. When I do an announcement, I tick a box that says, please send an email to everybody. So you don't need to keep looking there. You will automatically get an email every time an announcement goes up. Okay, so those are announcements. Now, in week 1, we will bring the course outline and lecture slide printouts to class, but we will only do that in week 1. In future weeks, we're not going to do that. So in later weeks, what you will need to do is you'll need to go onto UTS Online. So here we are, UTS Online. Come down to Subject Documents under Financial Reporting and Analysis. And what you will see, let me just make it so we can see what you can see. Okay, what you will see are a number of things. Firstly, the chapter from Whitford, Zimmer, Taylor and Wells. This is a reading that relates to the first week. We don't use the entirety of that textbook, so we've just made the chapter that we want you to read available there. That is essential to understanding some of the incentive issues that we discuss in the first week. Okay, so that's the Whitford, Zimmer, Taylor and Wells text. Secondly, there are lecture slides. So all the lecture slides for the entire subject have already been put up. In each case, I've put up a 1 per page, 3 per page, and 6 per page. So you can choose which one is more convenient for you to print. In some weeks, like week 2, week 3, you'll see in addition to the slides, there's also a practice demo. So please print that out and bring that to class as well. And that goes throughout the entire semester. Now, the sustainability lecture, topic 11, is not dealt with in class as a separate lecture. There is an online video lecture, and that's here. And there's an audio-only version of it as well, and the slides are also available. Okay, so that's UTS Online course documents, the lecture slides. In addition to the lecture slides, there are some videos. Now, some of these videos, the sustainability one, accounting for income tax, they're of varying quality. We have some old ones there and some more recent ones that we've recorded a little bit better. They basically guide you through some of the topics in this subject. So if you're having problems with things like leases or accounting for income tax, or even something as simple as calculating net present value, I think there's a video there on calculating present values. So if you want to brush up on those skills, or some things are unclear, please have a look at the videos. In addition to the videos, we also have screencasts. Now, screencasts basically are videos as well, except they're done in a slightly different structure. They're done using Adobe Presenter. So if I open, again, here's one on present value. If I open the asset revaluation screencast, what you'll see is a structured viewer. And the only difference between this and a video is that down the right-hand side, when it does finally open, of course, and it hates me. Okay, when it does finally open, down the right-hand side, you'll have a table of contents, so you can actually jump to different sections of the video. I'm sorry that's not visible here. Okay, so there's screencasts, videos, the lecture slides, and that's most of the material that you need. Just a quick heads up on other information here. Subject information is the course outline in case you don't get a printed version in class this week. Staff information at the moment has, just Stephen's information there. I'll put the rest up a little later. So Stephen's information, mine and Helen's will be there. And the other thing you need to look at is the discussion board. If you have questions about any of the subject matter that we're covering in this subject, this is where you ask them. Yes, you can talk to us, but please try to avoid asking us email questions about the topics. Sure, ask us emails about your enrollment or things like that, but about the topics, please ask the questions either in person or UTS Online. And the reason for that is actually quite simple. If you've got the question, somebody else is likely to have it too. They might be too shy to ask it, or maybe they've already asked it. So have a look at the relevant topic before you ask a question. An answer may already be there for you. Okay, the last thing that I need to note, the problems that are set for you to do each week are listed, in the course outline. Actually, I have a copy of the course outline here. So the course outline you will get, it's got a yellow cover, and for each week, we've got the tutorial questions listed. So these are questions that we expect you to work through in class. Okay, there's a little bit of editing that I shouldn't have put in there, but it doesn't matter, it's still the right information. Okay, that's good. Now, the other thing you need to know is there are solutions to those. Now, I'm not sure if I've put them up yet, or if I've made them available. So let me just see what I can see. There's practice papers that will be made available later. And, I can't see the solution. Oh, yes, there we are. Here we have seminar questions and solutions. So I will make that available. What that basically means is that you will have answers available for all of the self-study problems. We're all adults here, so be careful. Please do not look at the answer before you look at the question. It's very easy to say, looking at the question and the answer, I could have gotten that. But the real test is, if you're looking at the question and you don't see the answer, could you have gotten that? That's why I recommend you don't look at the solutions until you've done the problems. Now, from time to time, I will also put videos up on YouTube. In fact, this introductory video will go up on YouTube, but it will be linked from UTS Online. Okay, so that's the structure of your learning. So we've covered the subject resources, announcements. One thing I didn't mention, or maybe I did, we have drop-ins starting tomorrow. The first drop-ins are tomorrow at 5, and an announcement will go up about that. Sorry, one at 4, one at 5. And tomorrow we're going tomorrow. I'm recording this on Monday. So on Tuesday of this week, we're looking at debits and credits and net present value. If you're still having problems with those, remember there are still those videos and screencasts available online. Now, a few other issues. Emails. Please do not email me, as I've said, about subject matter questions. Those questions should be on UTS Online. But if you have personal issues about your enrolment and inability to attend, or what have you, email us for those things. Please, however, include the subject code in the subject line of the email. That's 22748. Otherwise, we might not see your email. The other thing you need to do, email from your UTS email address. There are two reasons for that. One, it helps our filters alert us to the fact that something has come in that's important. Secondly, if you email us from a private email account, we have no way of knowing that you are who you say you are. And we certainly would not want to release marks or other personal information to someone who isn't entitled to those. So it is essential that you email us from your UTS email addresses. Okay. Now, I did mention the Financial Reporting Handbook, and I said it wasn't that important to get that. Why not? Because all of the accounting standards, the accounting rules, are available at aasb.gov.au, the Australian Accounting Standards Board.gov.au, and they're available in PDF format. CPA Australia also has fact sheets on every accounting standard, and if you're doing any research into any companies, the Data Analysis Premium database available through the UTS library has a lot of information about Australian publicly listed companies. Okay, so those things are of relevance. Now let's just come back and make sure we've covered everything. We've talked about announcements, subject information, subject documents. I'll make sure all of those things are up to date. Oh, look, there are people here, just not available. So I will make that information available to you tonight. Welcome to FRA. I hope you enjoy the process. It can be fun so long as you keep up, do the reading, and make sure you get on top of topic 1. Otherwise, some of the latest stuff won't make sense. Once again, on behalf of myself, Stephen and Helen, welcome to FRA at UTS.